if I've helped Zinande to learn something new, and in turn that something new helped her achieve whatever, then by virtue of her achievement, then I've achieved that level of success. My name is Thando Gambushe, popularly known as Hawemuurhh, and this is my journey to being a content creator, brought to you by Kuyasha Media. So, who is Thando? Okay, Thando's changed a lot. So she's not the same as childhood Thando, of course. We all grow. But Thando is a small town girl actually. I am from Port Shepstone originally. So I'm from KZN in Port Shepstone, the South Coast. Grew up there with my gran, as is with most people. I then moved to Durban to live with my mother, and I've been in Durban for years until I moved to Joburg at some point. I have my mother, my brother, my dad passed away in my first year at varsity, in actual fact, and that's really built me into the person who I am today, really. It's quite funny because I went through a very transitional phase from being a Durban girl to becoming a Joburg girl. So I've always been fun-loving, bubbly, love people, sociable, all of those fun things, you know? And then just as I left to live in Joburg to start school, I studied at Wits. I changed completely. I became very antisocial. I didn't want anyone around me, just wanted to be alone all the time, and even started to lose weight. And I don't know what brought it, but I really changed, and I think that was the beginning of me becoming like the person I am today. Moved to Joburg for about 4 or 5 years, studied accounting initially at Wits. And then I realized that accounting is not my thing. I was good at it, sure, but it's a process-driven thing. Like, you just have to get the steps right, then it's right. And I'm more of a practical person. So I was like, what can I study that involves me taking real-life application and putting it out there, you know? So I changed to a BCom in marketing, management, and economics. Actually, economics was the big drive because I felt like it's very practical. I can see it happening in real life, you know. So I moved to that. If I were to talk about Thando now, she's driven. She is bold and very detail-oriented. And I think I'm a creative at heart, but there's a big part of me that's very, how can I put it, pedantic and almost perfectionistic, if I can put it that way. Sometimes not to my favor, but that's who I am now. It's mainly how to create content. So I've just found that I'm just a person who creates whatever I want to create, but one of my biggest strengths, I can put it, is that I'm a continuous learner. I'm a person who actively wants to learn something all the time. So because of that, I always learn a couple of tricks and new skills to embed in my content creation. And I started to get a lot of questions, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? So then I decided that my content is going to be sharing with people how to create content. But over and above that, there's also digital marketing content, and then just to keep things fun and lighthearted, lifestyle content as well. I've always found that there's the first thing I think of when people mention content creators is to distinguish it from an influencer. So for me, when I think content creator, anybody can be a content creator. Anyone is a content creator, because a piece of content is literally taking something and bringing it to life in a, I think it's more like storytelling. I think that's what content creation is, you know. It's bringing something that may seem ordinary to life, you know. Whereas when I think about being an influencer, you can't define yourself as an influencer. I think people define you, society defines you as an influencer, and you, by virtue of being influential, then you can be an influencer. But you can't, I don't think you can dub yourself one. But with content creation, if you can work something ordinary and make it into a story, into something that someone is interested in, I believe that then you're a content creator. It's just bringing something to life, basically. So I said I'm an active learner. So because of that, I've literally always loved detail. I love quality. You know, so it goes so far as to see that, oh, this picture isn't straight, and someone thinks it's straight, and I'm just like, no, if it was straight, it would be a little bit more to the side. Like, so I'm very detail oriented, and I think the place where I've found detail to be the most interesting to me is within photography. So actually, when I was still living in Johannesburg, I met someone who was a photographer, and he'd always use me as his muse or whatever. But I was less interested in being in front of the camera. I really always wanted to be behind the camera. So I was always trying to learn. I started out just shooting like with my phone, and I really liked zoomed in close-up shots of stuff, you know. In actual fact, I love product photography more than anything. Don't like shooting people at all. People complain, people want their pictures now. Products don't say anything. You make the story. So this is the content creation aspect of it, that I'm taking an inanimate object and almost bringing it to life through photography. I think it's purpose. So for a long time, I obviously people try and figure out their purpose at different stages in their lives, and like I mentioned, I did have a transitional phase between moving from Durban to Joburg, and in that time I think I started to realize more and more who I was and the things that mattered to me. And I guess because of that, I started to really introspect quite a lot, and eventually figured out that I enjoyed teaching. So it was a thing where when somebody would ask me for help, I went over and above what I needed to do just so that they could understand. Like, all I wanted was people to understand. And I was just like, why do you always explain so much, you know? And it got to a point where I was just like, damn, I love helping, I love teaching, you know? And I'm an active learner, so I'm always learning new things, so I need to get them out, kind of thing. So for me, like specifically my YouTube channel, I started it with the intention of sharing digital marketing knowledge, right? And I just wanted to help people understand digital marketing better, because I was also still in the process of actually just learning it, you know. And that was the idea behind it. And I think my channel is what propelled me to even start putting in effort on my other platforms, because I wasn't before, you know. And I just realized that this is something I want to keep doing. I just want to help people have that information, be able to refer back to it. And that's it. That's what I think my purpose is. My purpose is to teach. I needed to take the leap. For a while, I'd been struggling like with my Instagram, not knowing what to post, not being consistent and everything. And because I wasn't sure how to package my content for Instagram, I felt like it was completely different, you know, and I didn't know how to place it there. I think so for a long time I was stalling, and then when YouTube became a thing, I was just like, I think maybe this is the platform for me, so maybe I should try it. And even when I started, like, that was exciting, yes, but it was a matter of time was something I did not have. So I do have 9 to 5 that needs me, so I wasn't like able to like deliver content on a regular basis. And this may sound weird, but for a long time, because of time, I wasn't able to create consistently. But lockdown happened, and I promise you, literally, lockdown has kind of been a blessing to me. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I did need to take that leap to just start, but I feel like I had a restart when lockdown came about, because for a long time I thought I was even making up an excuse of that I don't have time. So when lockdown came and I started to work from home, I felt like, well, this would be the chance to prove that you're not lying about not having time, because you do have a little bit more time here. So if you start working, then that means this is for you, right? So yeah, lockdown was a restart, and then all I needed to do was maintain that discipline. Equipment wise, all I needed was a phone, to be very honest. Actually, not just a phone, a tripod, very important. I stand for tripods. Like, I could not do anything without a tripod. So yeah, I literally just needed a little bit more time, but I think like my time management has become better now, and even if I were to go back to work full time, I would still be able to create consistently, because I've figured out methods on how to do it. And in terms of equipment, it's literally a phone and a tripod, and then just that drive to continue, that drive to be consistent. You literally must want to do it, and literally that's all. So they've received me very well. They've really supported me. Like, my growth between last year and this year is just crazy. It's crazy, and on all platforms. And I actually wrote down a couple of social media goals at the beginning of the year, actually not knowing that I'd be as consistent as I am now. And to see those numbers grow, for me, it's just like, wow, people really like what I'm doing, you know. And like I mentioned, how I didn't know how to package myself for Instagram, but since creating my channel, it's somehow just come together in some way, shape or form. And literally, I think I've had, between April and now on Instagram, I've gained at least 4,000 more followers. On YouTube, as soon as I hit 1,000, I just get so many very quickly. I think at the beginning of the year I was on 500, and now I'm on 2 point something, and I'm just like, that's wild. I get amazing comments from people all the time, and it's yeah. So I probably have quite a long list, because my content kind of not depends, but I'm always like exploring, so I find new people all the time. But I have OGs, for one, Smee Hawemuurhh is one of the content creators that I really love, and I think more than anything, it's how she's done her content. Like, I think it's been an evolution, you know, where I think when I started watching her, she did do fashion, sure, because that's something that she's always been known for, but she did a lot of wig content, and I used to love it. I used to stand for it, you know. She's the type of person where as soon as a video is posted by her, I make sure that I go and watch that content, you know. And I think over and above the quality of the work, it literally is that I just enjoy her. Long before now even, you know, so she's just like an OG for me. I really love Vongai. Her quality is insane, but also her story, I think, is also something that, not that I resonate with, but I just find inspiring from where she was and where she is now. And I only found out about Vongai not so long ago. It hasn't been like someone who I've seen grow. I saw Vongai when she had boomed, but then I was just like, she's consistent, the quality, the detail, yeah, no. So that's Vongai. K, my girl. This song and Lento in nepotism. I don't know, because she's not family, but she might as well be. But Kay is such a hard worker. I think for me it is that personal relationship where I saw her from nothing, and seeing how far she's come, I have no choice but to stand. It's that kind of thing. From like being at school, and we're both at school right now, to her deciding that, nah, I'm not about this, this is what I'm about, and then making it work. I think I can even break down that with Snee, it's the authenticity and the personality. Vongai, it's literally the detail, the quality, the precision, the perfectionism, you know. And with Kay, it's the journey and that drive. And she's just herself, but it literally is me seeing her go from 0 to all the way to 100K low or manje, you know. So yeah, those are my 3 local ones. And then if I have to go international or whatever, there's literally 2, and they're both photographers, videographers, cinematographers. Literally Peter McKinnon and Daniel Schiffer. Almost every content creation trick I know has come from consuming their content. So my journey to being a content creator, it's been long. It's been a long journey, but very fulfilling. I don't think it's complete, you know, but it's been rocky. I think I've had many a times where I felt like, nah, this is not for me, this is not who I am. I'm not a person who shares. Like, you have to ask me something in order for me to share, and I felt like being a content creator means you must just give willingly, you know. And I've had a real struggle between not sharing and oversharing, because I'm literally an extremist. So I think the journey to being a content creator has really taught me a lot about myself. It's been a journey where I'm always learning. It's been difficult because I've had breakdowns where I'm just like, I cannot create, and moments of feeling very unfulfilled, you know, where I produce a piece of content, I'm just like, I don't like this, you know. And but more than anything, I really just feel like I don't even know if I have like a word to describe it, but it's been very telling. And when I say telling, it's from my perspective as in who I really am, but it's also been very telling about society, because I found that it's made me learn more about how people perceive things, how people receive things, and then in turn also kind of has been telling of who I really am, what I really want to do, and just, you know, sort of figuring myself out. It's a crazy thing. I don't even know if you can really define the journey to being a content creator, but one thing I do know is if you just start somewhere, then the rest sort of figures itself out. You will unravel basically, and things will become clearer. And that's just the one thing about that journey, that the journey doesn't, you can't plan the journey. You kind of have to start doing it in order for it to play itself out. If you want to follow me and see some of the content that I create, my Instagram is @_Hawemuurhh. You guys probably won't be able to spell that. It's HAWEM, 2 U's, an R and 2 H's. And on YouTube, it's the same but without the underscore. But like, if you're gonna search me on YouTube, just search Thando Gambushe. I think you're more likely to find me there. And on Twitter, it's also @Hawemuurhh, no underscore. So if you guys want to give me some love, those are the places to go.